Got great strength, and she's thrown that with Sunset Burbsky here.
Oh, certainly has. Yeah, certainly has. And from day dot, she's always going to be a stayer. Just you don't know how far they're going to go, but this is a dream to make this race for us. If you're going to make a Group 1 final, to make the race her mum won was fantastic. But hopefully we'll find out shortly how she's going to go, but we don't know. But fingers crossed she can use the box.
Let's take a short spell before we join Sky Racing 1. It's a great race, Wiz. We see a lot of pace, we see a lot of strength, and the strength is going to come from one in Sunset Burbsky. Now, her part owner in Jason Lyon joins me here on track, and Jace, she's been so good through that middle part of the year, probably not as dominant in her past few. What's your gut feel that we'll see tonight?
Gut feel is she's going to go a bit better tonight. We sort of gave a let up before the Sydney Cup, and there weren't races from the Sydney Cup between now, so she had a 600 in between and got home well last week, so a bit of racing under her belt. That was always a plan, to give her a let up, but we didn't get the race we hoped. So hopefully tonight she can, come out well and use the box and get a bit closer.
And the race from a general point of view, who do you see as the main danger if she was to be in contention?
I think the outside division hold the key. All the speed's out wide. She's got to come out, if she can hold a position early and get out where she wants to be. We know she likes to track wide and go around the dogs, but if she can come out and actually hold a position early, I think we're in with a great show. But if we come out last, like she can do at times, we never know. But no, she's a live chance if she can come out and hold the position. But 5, 6, 7, 8, I think hold the keys to their speed.
Good luck, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Jason Lyon there, the part owner of Sunset Burbsky, along with his good friend in Ross Davidson. And Gareth, we haven't included her, Wiz and I, in our numbers, probably just because her form's just tailed off slightly, which is easy to do when you're racing in top class, but she was just so dominant through that middle part of the year, and I just want to see more of her best from her before we start having a lot of confidence coming into these sort of races. I'm with number 6, Houdini Boy, and he's getting out to a real price. He is. He's on the drift, and as we said, it's a much more reasonable price than what we saw the $1.80 open up after the box draw. And I know there's queries around about how good he was last week and then backing up and not being worse off. But for me personally, I think we've seen enough of him over 600 metres to know he's a real powerful unit. And second up, I really don't see him going any worse.
So looking at the market here, so you've got Houdini Boy out to $3, Manila Night $6.50, Blazing Cartier that was so good last week in her heat, and Love Sandown at $9.50, Sweet as M at $6, and Sunset Burbsky at $6. It's one of the most open bold traces that we've seen for quite some time.
It is, and what I love about the race is there's a lot of speed and there's a lot of strength. So we're going to see a big margin between first and last in the middle part of the race, but they're going to really close up as they get to the post for the final time. So we're going to see the likes of Sweet as M, as Wiz mentioned, show plenty of speed, the likes of Manila Night from the outside, and then you've got the drop back run on types like his Sunset Burbsky, Elias Bale, He Shall Power, and even, I was going to say Sir Truculent, but he's sort of mixed up his racing pattern of recent times. But look, for the favourite Houdini Boy, it's just all about getting into a position where he's not burning as hard as what he was last week. If he was to settle second or third, maybe even fourth, I think that's going to be the best possible spot for him.
Every greyhound's basically been back except for this favourite, who continues to drift out to $3, was $1.80 when we woke up this morning. But Cal Greeno's pretty confident still. Obviously, he was so good last week to win his heat. But this is a bigger challenge. Better field, of course. It'll be interesting to see how he jumps. Where do you want to see him in the run? Midfield?
I want to see him probably third. I'd love to see him settle up in that spot, because last week we saw him take over control early on, and from there we saw his run home time wasn't in the same league as, say, Blazing Cartier in the latter part of the night. So I want him to sort of save his batteries in the middle part, and then we know how strong he can be late.
He's one of the most talked about greyhounds in this country at the moment, Houdini Boy. He's the drifting favourite for the Group 1 Bold Trease. Here is James Vandermaat for the call.
They load away the Group 1 Bold Trees for the stayers over the 715 metres. It is a real test of attrition. And the favourite, the Rising Star Houdini Boy in green. Set to run now, green light. The stayers are ready for the Bold Trees. Stand by. Set. Away and racing, and Houdini Boy midfield to go, and Blazing Cartier away quickly, tackled by Manila Knight, and there's Houdini Boy, straight up the third, settling down, followed Sir Truculent, a break of 3 to He Shall Power, then Elias Bale, Sweet as M, and Sunset Burbsky last, a lap to go, and Manila Knight led it clearly, 4 lengths to Houdini Boy, who starts to hone in quickly down the railway side, 3 lengths away then to Sir Truculent, He Shall Power, then Blazing Cartier, Elias Bale, Sweet as M, and Sunset Burbsky. Manila Knight, Houdini Boy, they come together. Manila Knight hit the lead. Here's Sir Truculent winding up. It's as they turn. Manila Knight, Houdini Boy. It's still Manila Knight. Manila Knight won the Bold Trees all of the way. A half length Sir Truculent. Third Houdini Boy. And then He Shall Power. Blazing Cartier. Followed by Elias Bale, Sweet as M, and Sunset Burbsky. But the young star Manila Knights won the Bold Trees. Number 8.
Does it all of the way, Manila Knight. 672.30 defeats the South Aussie superstar Sir Truculent back in second. Houdini Boy loomed up like he was going to go straight past Manila Knight down the back when he was within striking distance. But Manila Knight just outstayed him, Jason Adams.
And it was a real improvement on what he showed last week, because we saw him show exactly that speed. And look, the draw is perfect for what he's able to do. As we see here on screen, he holds his line, he hooks around the fields. That's what he likes to do. And once he took over mid-race, you knew he was going to be in the finish. Houdini Boy loomed up, and for me personally, I sort of felt it was going to be a matter of time before Houdini Boy went past. But they sort of collided on the home turn. They got jammed up a little bit, and that's where we saw the real grind from Manila Knight at the part of the race where he weakened last week. I know Connections were frustrated that he was in such a late race last time around, because he doesn't handle the kennel experience as good as some others. But being earlier on in race number 5, I'm sure that's what they're going to credit as to the improved performance from him. He was really good.
So that was the key to him tonight. Definitely earlier race, he was race 11, the second last week, and race number 5, it can make a big difference. He doesn't use all that energy at the start of the night in the kennel area, and he saves it for where it counts most there on track.
Exactly right. We see a very happy man walk behind us, part of the team of Manila Knight and Kevin Richards, and look, he'd be thrilled. And what I loved about that win also, Gareth, was when he was challenged, he responded.
Yeah.
I mean, without doubt, he would have been fighting fumes at the end of his tank, but he just did not give in. He kept fighting, and he's won in pretty good time as well in 41.66. So now a Group 1 winner. And congratulations as well to his trainer, Mario Buganti, who looks being careful with the way that he's placed this greyhound. It's been a real progression to stepping up the 700 metres, and we've seen him do it really well over the 650s on the provincial circuits, and then the 700 last week, and now a real improved performance to win a Group 1 in the Bold Trees.
He's had 36 starts with 15 wins now, $100,000 he wins tonight, Manila Knight. So that takes his tally to around $160,000. He's a greyhound that's getting better. I know the camp were confident last week, weren't they? And they were beaten by Blazing Cartier, but obviously genuine excuses there that they thought because he was here in the kennel area. He doesn't really like that, and he was the second last race on that program. But tonight, we all knew that he was probably going to be the leader, whether he could hang on, and he just simply outstayed his rivals because he was challenged on several occasions, but he found a way.
He did, and look, just a really good staying performance, and I guess hopefully that's what we're going to see from him in future, where he begins on speed, he just fights and fights just like he did then. He was really good. We see Houdini Boy here in front of us, Gareth, having a drink just before he heads back to the kennel block, and he was pretty gallant. I thought when he looms up, he had to work hard, and it was probably a prime performance of it's one thing to catch the leader, it's another to get by. And at that stage of the race, he didn't have enough in the tank to get around Manila Knight, and still a good run from Houdini Boy and Sir Truculent as well, we must mention, who is the staying king of South Australia. And I sort of thought as Houdini Boy and Manila Knight were getting together, where are we going to see the swoopers? They're going to cost themselves ground, and the swoopers are going to come. So Truculent was there on the scene, didn't have enough to get by, but that probably plays in the favour of Manila Knight and how good he was in the run home, just to fight that challenge that were coming.
He shall power. He'll win a big staying race one day. He was flying home. Or do you think the way that he goes about it might cost him? Eventually he'll have the brakes go his way one night, surely.
He's one of my favourite greyhounds, He Shall Power, but he's just got a racing pattern that isn't traditional for winning group races. I mean, he's possibly not quick enough to go on and win one coming from behind, and we know it's rare that he actually gets a start right. So Sandown to track that he goes well at. He's been good here tonight, and although he's run fourth, he hasn't been beaten that far and making ground on the leaders. So a good performance from him. I've got no doubts. Dave Crawford, his trainer, will be very pleased.
Hopefully you'll catch up with Mario Briganti shortly. He's just headed over to give his dog Manila Knight a pat and big kiss, and that's what it's all about. He was confident, well, the camp were confident that this is his bold trees. This was the year that he'd be ultra competitive, and I guess for a stayer as well, it's probably, it helps when you can jump and make your own luck. You just pointed out He Shall Power's probably got a bigger motor than most here, but Manila Knight was out of trouble today chasing hard, and with the times that he can run up off the front hand, he's always hard to catch.
He is, and it's a good example of, even though it is over the 700 metres, they do, I guess, have a second opportunity to get going if they do get cost a check, because there's so much time to make it up. But for speed types like him, like Sweet as M, the start's all important. So when Sweet as M couldn't find herself at the point end of the field through the middle part of the race, she was done and dusted. Where for Manila Knights, he was still out in front, still fighting, and it was just a real good staying effort.
And Houdini Boy, he lost no admirers. Cal Greno pointed out he'll be better as his career goes on, especially over a staying trip as well. And that was his second look at the track and distance as well. So Jason Adams is about to catch up with Mario Briganti, the winning trainer, after he took out the Group 1 Bold Trees final for 2020. $100,000 to the winner, and it was a fighting victory to lead all of the way. Hopefully Jason's not far away there, and he'll catch up with Mario in just a moment. And the dog, of course, Manila Knight, he's just getting a well-earned wash there and a bit of a drink after taking out that Group 1 Bold Trees tonight. The big one's not far away, the Tab Melbourne Cup. It's our feature event on the card, of course, the greatest greyhound race, worth $450,000 or $35,000 to the winner. And your favourite, he's been solid throughout the week, Simon Told Helen. He's at $2.40, and he has been clearly the best back since the draw on Sunday morning. Tigalong Tonk $5.50, Shimmer Shine Easy at $4.60, Hardstyle Rico at $7, and Tommy Shelby, the Western Australian star. And hello to our friends in WA. He's, what, $8 now from $9. So that's the story with the betting. Sipping Sullivan's had some betting or backing place-wise. It was $6 this morning, now he's into $3.50. Jason Adams, we'll head back to you, mate, and you're catching up with some happy connections.
Oh yeah, Mario Briganti's still giving his almighty winner a drink, but I'll have a quick word with Kevin Richards, who's a part of the connection group. And Kev, this one means a lot, I can tell that.
Oh, it was great. Mario did a marvellous job with this dog. He pulled up pretty bad after the run last week. Had to go on the drip, a couple of days on the drip. He pulled him through, and he's one of the best trainers I've ever come across. In 50 years of training, he's one of the best I've ever seen, this bloke.
The dog himself made a brilliant start to his career. I think it was his first or second start. He won here from box 8 in a really quick time. Was there always that suggestion that he'd eventually be a stayer and of this quality?
Yeah, he ran second in the breeders at Warrigal in his second start. It was a good run. He came home hard, and we always thought he'd stay. But it took a while to get him up to the 700. Mario is very patient. I'm a bit of a person that likes to believe that if they can run 700, put them over it. But Mario's just likes to wait until they mature a bit before he puts them over him. But he's done a wonderful job with this dog.
And as you say, he didn't pull up all that well, and he's even improved after last week. So there was that frustration about the late race last week.
Yeah, late race last week, yeah. And he never led. He missed the start last week, was unusual. And I was sort of just hoping that he might just burst 6 clear, but when Houdini Boy ran up to him, I thought, well, we're in trouble here, but he fought on really well. Just a great dog.
I won't keep you around, Kev. Get going.
Thank you.
Get involved. Kevin Richards there, the connections of Manila Knights. We'll probably catch up with Mario Baganzi later on in the night and get that interview on the catching pen on Tuesday, Gareth. But look, it's an example of the sport that we spoke about before, how there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of emotion. And for these guys who, I guess you speak to them normally, they're typical blokes. They wouldn't traditionally show much emotion, but it takes a performance like that to really get it out of them, and that's what it's all about.
Great stuff, Jason Adams, and well done to the Connections of Manila night after taking out the Group 1 Bold Trees for the Stayers. So that's the feature event for the Stayers tonight. We'll take a quick break. On the other side of it, we'll start to preview the Tab Melbourne Cup final for 2020, and what a field it is. Probably the best field that we've ever seen in a Melbourne Cup, and this is the 65th running of the great race. You're with Gareth Hall, Jason Adams, live from Sandown. We'll come back and we'll start to preview the Tab Melbourne Cup final for 2020 straight after this.
Yep, no worries. The owner isn't here, but we can get Mario, so he'll be here for a while, I'd say. So I'll make sure Rob gets him. He was on the drip in the early part of the week. I don't know if I'm going to highlight that. If he says it, he says it, but what do you reckon? Yeah. I'll suggest that it was a big effort, and he can sort of explain what was required. Yep.
All right then.